on Altitude. Johnny, last night, the Mammoth were tough against the defending champion Saskatchewan Rush and lost a tough one in overtime, 12-11 on the road, and they were that close to sealing one in Saskatoon for the second time in a row, but it was a late goal by Ben McIntosh that sealed it in overtime.
Well, the Mammoth are going to be disappointed with that loss, but they played well, like you said, in a hostile environment, and they have the opportunity tonight, 24 hours later, to come back and face Vancouver, a Western Division foe.
This outside shot by Ben McIntosh sent the home crowd happy on their way home, but Chris Wardle was a real bright spot for the Colorado Mammoth. He had never scored more than 2 goals in a National Lacrosse League game. Last night, he had 3 in the first quarter alone, en route to a career-high 5 goals. They need him to continue with the hot stick along with Eli McLaughlin and Zach Greer on that lefty side.
When you're playing with Eli McLaughlin and Zach Greer, you're going to get some good looks because the opponent's defense is going to pay so much attention to those players. So fortunate enough for Wardle and the Colorado Mammoth, he was able to bury the ball last night on his opportunities.
This game has a lot to do with the standings here in the Western Division. You can see right there, Saskatchewan and Vancouver actually have a game in hand on Colorado. So for the Mammoth to keep pace with the defending champion Rush and to keep some distance between the stealth, they need to win this game.
Yeah, any game in the Western Division is going to be important, especially when it's a home game. So tonight, like you said, with the standings as tight as they are and the games in hand that Saskatchewan have, this is a vital game tonight for the Mammoth.
It's a game to watch if you're a fan of goal scoring, as 2 of the top 3 point getters in the entire National Lacrosse League will be on display tonight. Corey Small leads the league along with Mark Matthews at 66 points, and Callum Crawford sits just 1 point behind with 65, and he was a real mammoth, pardon the pun, for them last year, coming over in an off-season free agency deal, and he's just continued his pace, especially with a lot of the injuries.
Well, it's been well known the amount of injuries, like you said, that the Colorado Mammoth offense have faced this year, and Crawford has really taken it upon him to put on the Mammoth offense on his shoulders and carry him the first half of this season.
A few years ago, Corey Small was a member of the Rush organization. An ACL injury put him on the shelf. Vancouver was able to pick him up in a big off-season trade, and he's been full value for them.
Well, he's tied for first in the NLL in points, and he's pretty balanced between goals and assists. So the Mammoth are going to have to play a solid team defense tonight to control him.
The 2 teams have played twice already this year, splitting games with both away teams winning. Vancouver in a bit of a blowout here earlier in the year, and then that overtime win for Colorado in Vancouver. But there you see, at home the Mammoth are pretty good. On the road, not so much. And Vancouver holding an 18-25 overall series advantage. But a guy that Mammoth fans love to hate is Reese Dutch.
Well, he's been very popular by the fans here in the way they're booing him and treating him when he gets in here tonight. But they treat him that way because he's had a lot of success here at the Pepsi Center. And so the Mammoth defense are going to have to make sure that they get on his hands early, allow Alex Bouquet to see the ball when it's released from his stick, and make sure they get him on the move and not let him that space to plant his feet to shoot.
He had 6 goals last time he was here, but only 2 goals in the Vancouver game. So let's hope that the Mammoth defense and Alex Bouquet can shut things down. It's the Mammoth and Stealth coming up next in a massive West Division rivalry right here on Altitude. coaches that are very familiar with each other, and of course, their head coach of the Colorado Mammoth is Pat Coyle. He still stands on the defensive side of the bench, but he is the man that runs the show for Colorado. And on the other side, that's a former Mammoth coach, guy you know quite well, in Jamie Batley. Alex Bouquet will get the start in net tonight for the Colorado Mammoth. He hasn't seen a whole lot of action. He is 0-2 on the year with a 10.25 goals against average and a 75% save percentage. On the other side of the floor, it's Ty Belanger, 2-5 on the year, 11.10 goals against average and a .791 save percentage. As we are getting you ready for the opening draw to be Dan Coates against Jarrett Toll. Coates 128 for 235, Toll 45 for 103, and tonight's first half faceoff is being brought to you by Ford. Your referees for tonight's game, Mark Gardonio, Matt Garrison, and Blair Ferguson, and we are underway from the Pepsi Center. Loose ball picked up by Cam Holding. Holding takes the opening shot and rings it off the bar. That would have sent the Loud House into hysterics right off the opening faceoff. But Cam Holding was unable to beat Belanger's little skinny red friend. Off a loose ball battle, picked up on the far side by Justin Salt. And he gives off to Joel McCready. McCready pressure, dishes it off to Reese Dutch. Dutch finds the late man Corey Conway off the bench, skips it far side Corey Small. Small takes a shot, saved by Bouquet, loose ball. Conway battling along with Dan Coates, who's going to come up with it. Now 5 bodies in there right behind Alex Bouquet's net. They'll reset the 30. Apparently Colorado must have picked it up at some point. Now Ilya Gaich has it. And Colorado's got to get it across the timeline, and they won't. That'll be an 8-second violation called on Colorado. Vancouver possession.
Great job by Corey Conway in there just to keep the Colorado Mammoth defense in the corner to get that 8-second shot clock call.
Dutch to McCready, who loves to go underneath, shoots and scores from the outside. Just as I was saying, he loves to go underneath. And McCready rips it far top corner. Gets his 9th of the year, and it's 1-0 for the Stealth.
Well, McCready with this, you can see here, an overhand shot. He's allowed to set his feet, got his hands free. Bouquet goes down a little bit, and the shot goes right over that left shoulder.
Bit of a tired defensive unit out there for Colorado as they had been deep in their own zone, battling for loose ball after that reset. McCready from Dutch and Small at 1-0.
That's a difficult situation for the Colorado Mammoth defense. They have the ball. They can't hear the referee making that call. And that quick transition back the other way caught them a little flat-footed. Procedure
called on Jarrett Toll. Possession will go to Colorado. And here's Jeremy Noble seeing his first action in over a month. Crawford and score!
A great answer by Colorado Mammoth. What we just talked about with the Vancouver Stealth first goal. Kalen Crawford again was allowed to get his hands out free, plant his feet, and a great shot here.
Great seal pick from Jeremy Noble. Matt Beers unable to slide over in time. He gave Crawford time and room. And he goes under the left-hand glove of Ty Belanger, and just like that, we're tied up at 1 as Crawford gets his 22nd of the year from Noble and Ilya Gaich. Time of that goal, 1:19, and we're all squared at 1.
And a game like tonight, that where Colorado Mammoth played last night, they had a long travel morning connecting through Minnesota to get back here to Colorado. It's going to be very important that they can compete and control momentum a little bit, and having them answer that Vancouver Stealth goal early is going to be a big help for Colorado here.
Keogh takes a quick shot, saved there by Belanger. You talk about that travel schedule. They played in Saskatchewan last night. They had a 3:15 wake-up call, flew through Minnesota, and didn't get into Denver until 1 o'clock. So a very short rest time for this Mammoth team. But as you and I were discussing before, for some reason the National Lacrosse League teams who play the second game of back-to-back have quite a high winning percentage. Here's Small takes a shot, nice save there by Bouquet. Loose ball picked up by Sullivan, and he'll outlet to Creighton Reed. Pass misses him, but there's Wardle to pick up the loose ball. There's Eli McLaughlin, one of the hottest Mammoth players over the month of March and even through February. One-on-one with his defender, gets a screen, takes a shot. That one missed just wide. Loose ball is going to be picked up there by Rouet. Rouet shoots, trying to go 5-hole. And Belanger kept the stick on the turf, and the outlets to Matt Beers. Quickly, here come the stealth the other way. Reese Dutch has it. Beers is going to stay in play. Dutch shoots, scores! Cannot allow Reese Dutch time and room. Very similar to the McCready goal. This time he goes low glove, and Vancouver regains the lead. It's 2-1.
I thought the Colorado Mammoth actually did a great job in reverse transition. Got 5 guys out there. It looked like Vancouver is going to have an early break, but they collapsed a little bit too far down in there. And like you said, Ted, you can't give Dutch that much time and room to shoot. He's going to put it in the back of the net every time. Give the assist to Matt Beers and goalie Ty Belanger. Time of the goal, 2:42, and it's 2-1 Vancouver. Coates and Toll right back at the draw. Coates wins it, pops it straight up, and it's picked up there by Cam Holding. He's watched closely by Travis Cornwall. Channel behind the net, now double team from Peter McFetrich, and Holding will just keep on running and give off to Zach Greer. Greer played his first game in almost a month last night in Saskatoon. Gets inside, tried to take a shot, ball hopped out of his stick, and Belanger will outlet to McFetrich. One thing Vancouver loves to do is run the ball in transition. McFetrich passes it off to Hogarth, and his shot just missed, and Creighton Reed will outlet the other way. No Logan Schuss tonight for the Vancouver Stealth, no Joey Capito for Colorado. Your scratches are Zach Haywires and Garrett Billings. Schuss and Capito both put on teams' holdout lists. Here's Rouet, far side. Crawford, shot right into the belly pad of Ty Belanger, and again, quickly outlets to Matt Beers. Colorado's back in numbers, so no transition for Vancouver. Beers fakes the pass to Conway, gives to James Ray. Conway, diagonal feed, finds Durston, ball pops in and out of his stick. Great defensive check there by Josh Sullivan. And Bouquet has it, needs to find an outlet. Goes bench side to Gillis. Sorry, that's Greg Downing. And he's over the timeline in time. Finds Robert Hope. And here comes the Mammoth offense back to work. Callum Crawford. Eli McLaughlin near side. Wardle's the late man off the bench. Rouet down to Crawford. Out there with Keogh. Jump shot. Another easy save there from Ty Belanger. Right into the belly pad. And Vancouver is allowing these shots to get on Ty Belanger, but he's seeing them very clearly. Yeah, you talked about an easy save, a lot of shots from the outside. That's not going to be a long-term success here with Colorado tonight.
Hogarth spinning and firing inside. Backhand pass to McCready, and the ball bounced in and out of his stick. Vancouver doing an excellent job getting inside. A little miscommunication there by the Mammoth defense, but able to escape the pressure. Here comes Cam Holding. With Matt Beers trying to do a little rusty gate check, lost his stick. See if they can't get him caught without one. Far side, Noble. Time and room, gives to Greer. He'll shoot, and that one deflected, goes up and out of play. Reset to 30, and we will go to break. Vancouver gets goals from McCready and Dutch. Crawford has the one for the Mammoth, and the Stealth lead 2-1. First quarter action coming up next here on Altitude.
Is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Welcome back inside the Pepsi Center here on Altitude. Team up with your favorite Colorado Mammoth players and the entire organization to lacrosse out cancer. Bring the noise and show your support when the Mammoth takes on the Saskatchewan Rush at Pepsi Center on March 25th at 7 p.m. Visit ColoradoMammoth.com to find your tickets today. Bit of a slow start, not anything that we didn't expect, especially after the travel that we talked about, but this is a big, important 5 minutes for Colorado, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, it's, they got through that first 5 minutes, and the score is only 2-1. I think they on the bench you could see coaching staff drawing up a play, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out of this timeout offensively.
Here is Zach Greer with it. Gets a high steal there from Eli McLaughlin. Keogh with a nice little brush pick. Keogh shoots off the post. Reset the 30, get the ball back to Eli McLaughlin. That's 2 posts on the night. Near side McLaughlin. Wardle trying to run some interference in front. Crawford, far corner. Skip feed. McLaughlin tries a little aerial shot, just missed. And here comes Beers. Matt Beers will slow things up, give off the Reese touch. Robert Hope will pick him up just across the restraining line. And now Conway with it. Far side, Corey Small. James Ray in the near side, down low. Conway, inside feed. Ray couldn't handle it. Picks up his own rebound, still has it. Conway runs some interference. Ray around the top. Ray tucks inside, fires a shot on net. Bouquet made the save right as the buzzer was going. Reset the 30. New possession for Vancouver. That's a tough break for Colorado.
Tough break, but they got the defense set up again, and they're going to have to know they have to play another 30 seconds, and they'll be okay.
James Ray comes around the top. Skips a far side. Evan Messenger playing in his first National Lacrosse League game. Diagonal feed there, and a great save from Bouquet. Denied Corey Small, and here comes Robert Hope. Numbers up the floor. Hope doesn't see Rouet up the floor. Late man is Crawford. He gets it now, but he was in too tight and doesn't force it. Greer, pump fake, tuck and go. Doesn't force the shot. 15 on the shot clock. Crawford shoots, saved by Belanger. Loose ball in the corner. Vancouver playing having some troubles picking up that loose ball. Crawford in battling, and McFettridge comes and pushes him out of the way. Bit of a suicide pass there to Jordan Durston as he looks a little worse from the wear. Here comes Colorado downing. As Durston finally gets to the bench now. Vancouver had too many men on the floor. No call from the officials. Crawford to Wardle. Here's Holding. Rouet to Crawford. He'll shoot from the outside. Another shows it. Rebound by Wardle. And he just put it over top of the net. Ball's loose. Rouet picks up. He's held and taken to the floor. Delayed penalty coming up here to the Vancouver Stealth. And the Mammoth will head to the power play.
Vancouver penalty number 55. 2-minute minor. Check from behind.
We talked coming out of that timeout that the Colorado Mammoth need to show a little bit more energy. Their offense is cutting through the middle, getting better opportunities, and that's what you're going to draw when you're cutting through the middle and you're getting the ball swinging east to west. You're going to get quality shots, but you're also going to force the defense to really start clutching and grabbing. And we had a hit from behind there on a loose ball. Mammoth going on the power play. Now you can feel the momentum of this building getting a little louder as well.
McCready 2 for checking from behind will bring the third best power play unit onto the floor. Colorado 58.14%. Vancouver not so good shorthanded. 8th in the league. Outside shot from Crawford took a deflection. Greer going to find that loose ball with 10 on the shot clock. McLaughlin down low. Diagonal feed. Noble comes around, takes a shot. That hit Lynch and off the glass. And the loose ball is picked up by Matt Beers. Beers chased down by Eli McLaughlin. He'll bounce it to James Ray. Vancouver just has 2 short-handed goals this season. Here's Messenger wearing 22 in his NLL debut. Watched there by Stewart, double team from Hope. Feeds to Ray, shot shoulder save there by Bouquet. Ball's loose up in the air. Body's battling for it, Robert Hope will pick it up. Hope outlet to Ilya Gaich. And the Mammoth will get across center with 53 seconds remaining on the penalty to McCready. Same unit out there for Colorado. Rouet, Keogh, Crawford, Greer, and McLaughlin. Here is Crawford. Outside shot, saved by Belanger. He got caught up in his jersey. Now he's going to throw a long outlet pass down the floor to Salt. catches it over his shoulder. Schultz shoots a great save there from Alex Bouquet. And Salt tried to go short side, and Bouquet held on to his post, and that's a huge save.
That's a big save. He's got all the momentum in the world here right now. You're on the power play, building's getting loud. You don't want to give up that shorthanded goal.
12 seconds remaining on the power play. 2 shots on the extra man so far. Noble, backhand to Keogh. He shoots, and that hit Hawksby, and he felt that one. 7 on the shot clock, 1 on the penalty. Shot there by Wardle. Goes wide, that'll be a shot clock violation. So nice job by the stealth short man unit not to allow any quality scoring opportunities by the Mammoth, as they only had a couple outside shots by Callum Crawford. And we're back to even strength, 5 aside. 2-1 Vancouver. 5:10 remaining in the opening quarter here from the Pepsi Center. Thanks for joining us on Altitude. Far side, Corey Small. He'll shoot from deep and scores 5-hole. And when you can hold a team to not score on the power play and you can score right away as soon as it ends, that's a huge momentum builder. As Corey Small gets his 28th of the year, and it's 3-1.
For the Mammoth fans that watched that game last night in Saskatchewan, a very similar goal to what we saw in the overtime last night, just from the left side of the floor. That plant shot from the outside, but around the screen, right? And those are tough shots for the goaltenders to see, and that one just snuck through the legs of Alex Bouquet.
Small adds to his leading point total. He's got 2 so far on the night. Travis Cornwall picks up the loose ball. Here comes Matt Beers. Lone assist on that Corey Small goal goes to Corey Conway. And here comes Vancouver again. McCready. Reese Dutch. Diagonal feed. Durston's shot saved there by Bouquet. Ball's loose. Sorry, that was shot by Evan Messenger. Loose ball picked up there by Jordan Gillis. He swims away from trouble, finds Dan Coates. Pressure up the floor by Peter McFetrich. Coates will bounce it to Eli McLaughlin. McLaughlin's got to be careful of the double team. Finds Greer off the bench and gets it right back. Far side, Callum Crawford working the 2-man game, gets a pick from Rouet. Trying to get away from Ian Hawksby, finds Zach Greer. Greer around the screen, takes a shot. Belanger makes that save. Moving across his net, and Ian Hawksby will jog to center.
Come on, Sully.
Corey Conway, watched by Josh Sullivan, finds James Ray. Now Reese Dutch. Latest goal scorer. Corey Small has it. Gets a pick. Loses possession. And now that ball's going to be picked up by Taylor Stewart. He's got numbers up the floor. Finds Sullivan, shoots, and another nice save there from Ty Belanger. He's got a man all the way up the floor. Doesn't headman it. Goes short to Matt Beers, and he'll slow things down. And Salt was all the way on the other side of center, wide open. Great scoring opportunity in transition for Colorado, but still trailing 3-1. Here's Messenger. That pass is knocked down by a nice stick of Greg Downing. Downing swims over top of Messenger. He falls on top of it. Ball's loose. And it's batted by Messenger all the way into the Mammoth zone. Picked up there by Cam Holden. Great job by the steady stalwart defender Greg Downing.
How Wiley moved there to just hedge a little far back at the top of that house, got his stick up, just deflected that pass. And that's why he's one of the top defensemen on this team.
Under 3 to play in the opening quarter. Here's Greer. That pass is picked off by Justin Salt, very similar to Greg Downing. Here goes Vancouver the other way, 4-on-3. Salt to Hodgson. Hodgson twister trying to go 5-hole. Easily handled there by Bouquet. That'll take us to another TV timeout. Bit of a slow start here for the Colorado Mammoth, but still plenty of lacrosse to be played. They trail of Vancouver still 3-1 into the first, coming up here on Altitude.
Why is Piquia a great idea, Price?
got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Gentlemen, with the Vancouver Stealth beat the Colorado Mammoth 3-1. Want to welcome back Jeremy Noble, who's been out since January 20th, that game against Calgary, where he was hit by Greg Harnett. He's been out since then. He's been close to coming back, but finally gets the draw in the lineup tonight, and you know he's excited to be back playing in front of the Mammoth baseball.
Yeah, he's got to be excited to be back. You know, it's a tough injury he sustained there. So, you know, he had a fantastic afternoon at the University of Denver with their big win against the University of Notre Dame, and then so carry that on tonight. He's pumped, ready to go. He was out early warming up. So let's see what he can do here on this shift.
He's been itching to get back in the lineup. He's been close, but now he gets to play some full floor action. Here come the Mammoth. Crawford around the top, gives to Greer. Trying to find a pass. He gets inside. Greer takes a shot. Nice job by Matt Beers to step in front of that ball that was going to go right on target. And we got a crease violation on McLaughlin. Vancouver ball. Beers gets the outlet pass from Belanger. Belanger had a bit of a rough start to his season, but he started to come around and been one of the hottest goaltenders in the National Lacrosse League, and Dylan Ward has been probably the hottest. And Ward getting the night off tonight after facing another 63 shots last night in Saskatchewan. Here's Conway. Inside feed, James Ray tiptoes the line, backhand shot, just missed the far corner. Bouquet picks up the loose ball, outlets the coast. Finds Creighton Reed on the other side of center. Reed to Crawford off the bench. Finds Stephen Keel one-on-one with Hawksby. Will come near side Wardle. Now Rouet. Double seal set for Crawford. Works inside, takes a shot, just missed. 5 on the shot clock. Colorado's going to have to get one on net. And McLaughlin's just going to dump this one. It's picked up there by the stealth defender Ian Hawksby.
See Crawford there, look up to the ceiling there. He knew he just missed to that far corner, similar to his first goal of the game. A great there double seal got him free for that shot.
Shots 13-11 in favor of Colorado. They trail by 2 as we're into the final minute of play here in the opening quarter. Durston inside feed, doesn't connect. There's Dutch to pick up the rebound near side. Feeds it inside to Small, and that shot just skips wide. Loose ball picked up there by Ilya Geitz, but it's right at the shot clock. So with 40 seconds remaining, we'll have to see if Colorado maybe takes a quick shot here, or if they'll allow Vancouver to have the final possession. Looks like they will. Here's Zach Greer. Skips it to Rouet. Far corner, Jeremy Noble. Near side, Chris Wardle. Rouet, Noble. 10 on the shot clock. Here comes Noble. Doesn't have Crawford in front. Now goes to Rouet. Steps away from the check. Gives to Wardle. Got to get a shot off. And just too many passes here by Colorado. Takes a shot there. Rouet. Where's the loose ball? This would be huge if he can come up with it. And it's not. It's picked up there by Justin Saul. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. As Salt fires a long shot. Saved by Bouquet. And that's the way the first is going to end. 3-1's your score. Vancouver leads the Mammoth. Second quarter action coming up here right after the break. You're listening to Mammoth Lacrosse live here on Altitude.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday, there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds, we lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
He's got Digby on the take, scores.
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
One to score as we get set to start the second quarter here inside the Pepsi Center. John Gallant and Teddy Jenner with you here on Altitude. Shots are 14-11 in favor of Colorado, and much of the reason why there's only one on the scoreboard for the Mammoth has been the play of Ty Belanger.
Well, he's been great in his first opportunity to start here in a while. You know, we haven't seen him at all, you know, Mammoth fans in a long time here, so to get him in, to get him, made some saves early, you know, felt the ball there a little, you know, pretty well, was able to move the ball in transition. So we'll see how the Mammoth come out here in this first 5 minutes here of this second quarter, and, you know, if they can have a little bit more energy than what they showed in that first quarter.
Belanger was a member of the Mammoth team, was he not?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Small world, this lacrosse world. Off the ensuing draw, picked up there by the Mammoth. Here's Dan Coates, shoots and scores! That's the kind of start they wanted in the first quarter. They hit the post. The captain, Dan Coates, wins the draw, goes right down in transition, and it's a one-goal game.
A great play by the captain. Like you said, won that face-off, and right down, overhand shot around a little bit of a screen there. Right to the outside of the right hand of Ty Belanger.
Coates wins the draw. Holding picks up the loose ball. They go down on a 3-on-2. Holding gives back to his captain, and Coates rips it short side. And it's a one-goal game as Dan Coates just gets his third goal of the year, and that's a huge start to the quarter. Off the ensuing draw, Matt Beers picks it up, battling along the far side boards right in front of the Vancouver bench. It's picked up there by Toll, and then batted all the way down into the Mammoth zone. Bouquet out to collect the loose ball and gives to Greg Downing. Get the crowd in this game and get your feet moving after that slow first quarter. And Hawksby's picked up by Creighton Reed right off the center. And here's Evan Messenger. Conway, far side, Reese Dutch, one-on-one with Ilya Gaich. And we could have a holding the stick call on Jordan Durston. Or it might even be a cross-check call. Wait for the official call from the referee.
Vancouver penalty number 78, 2 minutes, illegal cross-check.
It is an illegal cross-check called on Jordan Durston. A little too aggressive on that pick, trying to gain some room, and it's been a focus call for the officials this year.
Yeah, as a former defenseman, it's a focus call I like. You know, they're trying to protect the defenseman out there. You know, the offensive guys like setting those hard picks. And as one, you know, as a player who's had a few broken ribs from those hard picks, it's a focus call, like you said. I like that they're working on this year.
Back to the power play. Here come the man. Freer shot, saved there by Belanger. Ball ricochets to the corner. Rouet, Keogh, Crawford, Greer, and McLaughlin out there for Colorado. Here is Callan Crawford. Down low. Rouet thought about the shot, gives back to Crawford. Floats it to Greer, and he couldn't handle it. Bit of a suicide pass, but Greer picks up a loose ball. Keogh, pump fake, takes the shot, loose ball. And it's picked up there by Colorado's Jacob Rouet. I don't even know how he got it. But reset, no, they're going to say it was a shot clock violation, no reset. And it's going to be Vancouver possession. I thought a Vancouver player picked that up. But the referee was right there. And Vancouver will look to kill some time off the penalty to Jordan Durston. Here's Reese Dutch, far side, watched by Dan Coates. Near side boards, Messenger. Tried to float through the middle, nicely picked off there by the tall, lanky arms of Robert Hope. Hope will step into the offensive foray. Little slow transition on the power play here for Colorado, but they won't force it. Now Noble will set things up. Near side, Keogh, Crawford, skip past Greer, Noble top center. He'll take a shot, that hit a body, loose ball picked up there by Crawford, 5 for shot clock. Noble, time and room again, shoots, shoulder save there from Belanger. As you can see, Noble just wants to get that first one under his belt. Reset the 30, reset the power play. 2 shots so far on the power play, 15 seconds remaining. Noble will set a high seal for Crawford. He has time and room and just missed. That hit the back dasher. Ricochets off the glass. Hawksby picks it up. And that'll do it for the Mammoth power play. 0 for 2 so far on the night. And Durston is free and we're back to 5 on 5.
I thought it was a better power play, though, than the first one. There were a lot more quality shots by the Mammoth offense.
Here's Corey Small. Sweeting comes out to check him, takes the shot, they hit a body on its way to the net. And Bouquet able to crowd with a big stick. And Ilya Gage running up the floor. Here come the Mammoth the other way. As Bouquet is continually starting to see the ball more and more clearly. As the defense spreads the floor for him. Here's Rouet. Gets a pick from Noble. Skips it to McLaughlin. Back to Ray. One timer. What a save there from Belanger. And it's stuck in his leg pad. But good ball movement there east to west. And that's how you get defenses to spread out and good opportunities like Jacob Rouet just had.
Absolutely. So let's see if they can put a second offensive shift together here when they get the ball back.
Reese Dutch goes far side. Corey Conway. Flips it back to James Ray. Durston. He'll shoot and just missed far side. Hit the referee as it bounced into the back of Alex Bouquet's net. He'll outlet to Robert Hope. Hope gets across center, finds Callan Crawford. Down low near corner, Stephen Keogh. Skips it to Greer. Back to Keogh, near side Callan Crawford. Inside feed, Eli McLaughlin bounced in and out of his stick. Mammoth bench screaming for a back-in violation. None called, and here comes Vancouver the other way. Small shoots, and that one just missed. Dutch picks up the rebound. He'll shoot and bounce it far side and wide. And Small will get the rebound, 17 on the shot clock.
Mammoth defense fortunate. Small and Dutch missing the net that close. You're not going to see that too often.
Conway with a long outside bomb, handled there by Bouquet. Loose ball in the far corner. It'll be picked up by Colorado. Here comes Taylor Stewart. Stewart gets across center, looks for an outlet, has it, and Jeremy Noble. Noble's got Jordan Durston on him, see if they can expose the forward here. Noble to Rouet, nice play there from Durston to bat that ball down to Rouet. Would have been on all alone. 8 on the shot clock. Rouet, Crawford, outside shot, hit the post. That's 3 on the night for Colorado. Ball bounces to center on the other side. O'Doherty picks it up. Doesn't force it, turns back, and will roll it to Travis Cornwall. We'll give to James Ray. Evan Messenger. Watched there by the defense. Outside shot, where is it? Alex Bouquet squeezes the leg pads and will hold on and we'll get a whistle. Captain Dan Coates has made it a 1-goal game. It's 3.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
In the second quarter here between the Colorado Mammoth and the Vancouver Stealth. The Mammoth experience is better with friends. Bring groups of 10 or more to see your Colorado Mammoth and receive special benefits like discounts, bench and penalty box experiences, field time, and more. Visit coloradomammoth.com for details. We talked about the shots in the play of both goaltenders here tonight. Shots in the second quarter. Colorado up 6-2 on the shots. Not a lot of offense from the Vancouver Stealth. Credit that to this potent Colorado defense.
Well, they're really responding well to head coach Pat Coyle's philosophy and what he wants to see. And you know, they're starting to get the momentum. And like you said, they're knocking down a lot of shots, picking off a lot of passes, getting the ball on the ground. And that's key of any defense in the National Lacrosse League.
Both defenses doing a nice job of getting in front of shots and not letting many get on target. Total shots 20-14 as Rouet stripped there by Joel McCready. Picks up the loose ball. He's got O'Doherty way up ahead of him. This is a 3-on-0 now. Breakaway from McCready all alone. McCready pump fake. What a save there from Alex Bouquet. McCready goes through the crease. But just a calamity of errors there for Colorado, allowing McCready to get a breakaway from the front door of the Mammoth bench.
When you come out of a timeout, I think the last thing you're going to think of is you're going to get stripped at the top and a 3-0 break the other way. Big save by Bouquet.
Huge save by Bouquet. Here's Noble. Thought about the shot. Now he'll take it, try to go short side. And Belanger makes the save. Hawksby outlets to Justin Salt. Mammoth are back. Late trailer is Durston. He gets it. Finds Small, shoots. Another great save there from Alex Bouquet. Ball loose behind the net. Picked up by Small. Reset the 30. Fourth man in transition was open, and it was a little touch pass from Durston to Small, but Bouquet continues to be a wall in between the pipes. Here's Messenger. Skips it to Reese Dutch. Dutch gets underneath. Step shots, Crease scores! Reese Dutch got underneath this defender, and as he's prone to do, a little pump fake gets the goalie moving. And then beats Bouquet 5-hole.
Well, the one place Creighton Reed can never get beat as a defenseman is underneath when you're the anchor of that crease. And especially the player like Dutch. And you can see a little stutter step gets underneath. I thought he got a high stick in the face as well. There was no call coming, and he was able to hold that position and put it behind Alex Bouquet.
It's now a 2-goal lead as Dutch's second makes it 4-2. That's Vancouver's first goal in nearly 12 and a half minutes. And with 7:38 remaining, it's back to a 2-goal game. Coates won the draw to hold it. He couldn't hang on to it. And now the loose ball is picked up there by O'Doherty. Man open in front of the net. But luckily for Colorado, they're able to pick up that loose ball with Bryce Sweeting. Dutch from Evan Messenger and Corey Small.
Let's go!
Here comes Crawford. Spin move. Far side post just missed. Loose ball picked up there by Matt Beers. Backhand flip to McFedrich. He couldn't find it. Delayed penalty coming up here to Colorado. It's going to be a too many men call. And Vancouver will get their first opportunity on the power play.
2-minute minor, too many men.
That is a penalty on the Mammoth.
Too many men call on Colorado. Bryce Sweeting's the in-home, so he'll have to come over and serve it. And it'll put the Vancouver power play to work. Vancouver's power play, 53.5%, good for 5th in the league. Going up against the Mammoth shorthanded unit that's 9th in the league, but they're also giving up the least amount of penalties in the entire National Cross League, but that's not where you want to be no matter how many penalties you give up. Conway outside shot sails it high. Durston picks up the loose ball, tried to dunk it, but Bouquet was solid on his post. And here comes Colorado the other way. Cam Holding runs away from the check of Durston, keeps his feet moving. Durston with a couple chops on Holding. Not going to bother him much. Holding trying to find any kind of angle towards the net. 7 on the shot clock. Fire this one, one-handed catch to Crawford, and he's screaming to the referee for a holding call. He's not going to get it, but a big save there from Belanger as Crawford was all alone one-on-one on top of his crease. And here comes the still power play.
Well, that play is all Cam Holding there to be able to get that pass inside to Crawford for that scoring opportunity while man down.
A little bit of a wheel play here run by the Stealth as Crawford and Dutch roll through. Skip pass, Reese Dutch, heel shoot, save there by Bouquet. Loose ball picked up by Ilya Gaich. Here go the Mammoth the other way. Gaich trying to push the tempo. No full numbers for Colorado, so Ilya will slow things up. Let the offense get on the floor and give off to Stephen Keogh. 35 seconds remaining on the too many men call. Keogh inside feed, one-hand grab, corkscrew shot there from Crawford. Another save by Belanger. Here comes Jarrett Toll. Gets in the offensive zone, gives off to James Ray. And that's 2 great shorthanded opportunities from Callan Crawford denied by Belanger. 15 on the shot clock, 12 on the penalty. Here comes the movement from Vancouver. Ray takes the shot, that one sails wide. Loose ball picked up by Small. He'll tuck and go underneath. Shoot, saved there by Bouquet. Sweeting's out of the box, here goes Coates. So Vancouver moves to 0 for 1 on the power play. Coates will slow things up and give off to Noble. We'll play 5 aside, under 5 to go. 4-2, Vancouver leads Colorado. Here's Wardle to Greer. Now low to Jeremy Noble. Rouet sets a high seal. Noble had the shot. Shot there by McLaughlin. One-timer. I didn't think it had the power to get through, but it does, and it's a 1-goal game.
Are great seals coming down from the top down by the Colorado Mammoth. And you're going to see the sweep with the ball. And the trouble defenses have when you sweep with the ball is they all watch the ball as it's moving. And they're all watching the ball as it's moving. Leaves Eli McLaughlin open. And just a nice little quick stick. Top corner right behind Ty Belanger.
Belanger got his left shoulder on it, but not enough as he was moving post to post. And Eli McLaughlin gets his 21st of the season. That is now a career high in goals for McLaughlin. Give assists to Noble and Zach Greer. And it's back to a 1-goal game. Off the ensuing draw, Body's battling for it. And it's picked up there as off a Colorado turnover by Justin Salt. Salt will roll it all the way over by the bench. A little bit of confusion, almost too many men call. As Robert Hope sends Hawksby to the floor, and Hawksby gets a few jeers from the Mammoth bench. Conway, little hidden ball trick, holds onto it, finds Reese Dutch. Late start to the 30, the referee's gonna count it down for him. Nice pass picked off there by Dan Coates as Conway was open, cutting through the middle. And Coates gets across center. He's had a fantastic game so far in the opening half.
That's why he's the captain. You know, the team's struggling a little bit with momentum, back-to-back nights, and he's carrying them right now.
Be a great opportunity to tie this game back up. Crawford comes around the top, finds Greer, takes the shot, just missed far corner. And the ball loose, bounce off the near side boards, 4 on the shot clock. Keogh, he'll fire on target, saved there by Belanger. Had to bobble it a couple times before he picked it up. And Keogh steps up there on Joel McCready. Keogh will pass McCready off, go for a change, under 3 to play, 20 on the shot clock. Reese Dutch, 1-on-1 with Gaich, gets a pick, passes it off to Corey Small. Small thought about the outside shot, skips to Dutch, fakes the pass. That ball hit James Ray in front. 5 on the shot clock. Pass to Durston. He picks up. Oh my goodness! Jordan Durston, are you kidding me? Wow.
We've seen some highlight reel goals in these matchups throughout the years. John Grant Jr. behind the back, bounce shot, went top corner. I think that's going to be a highlight reel goal as well. What a play. They get it late in the shot clock, scoop that ground ball, and to put it the only place he could.
Durston's 11th of the year, and you can't really blame Alex Bouquet on that one. 9 times out of 10, there's no way a guy's going to put that ball top corner with his back to the goal and not even looking. But Durston, with a bit of a seeing eye shot, regains the 2-goal lead. 2:43 remaining. It's 5-3 Vancouver here on Altitude. It's 5-3 Vancouver leads Colorado, and this place still buzzing after that Jordan Durston goal. But if you're the Colorado bench and you're head coach Pat Cole, what are you telling your team in this last session of the first half, Johnny?
Well, you got 2:43 here left. It's a veteran group with Cam Holding and Dan Coates and up front with Keogh and Crawford, so they're okay. I think they're showing glimpses of some positive play here today, so they just want to finish this 2:43 off strong and get into halftime with a 1 or 2 goal deficit, or even tied if they can.
If it's not for Ty Belanger, this is a completely different game. He's made 23 saves so far on the 26 shots he's faced, many of a quality variety in tight. Here's Jeremy Noble, tries to get inside, doesn't have an angle, skips it to Eli McLaughlin, met there by O'Doherty. Crawford, shot there from Noble, and again Belanger with a left arm save. And he outlets to Justin Salt. Salt gets across center, finds Corey Conway, down low Reese Dutch. Near side, Corey Small. Turned down the side, but he comes back up high, skips it to James Ray. He can't handle the pass, but he tries to get underneath. Creighton Reed shuts that angle down. James Ray, bouncer, saved there by Bouquet. And Robert Hope comes into the crease to clamp down on that loose ball, and here comes Greg Downing. 1:40 remaining in the half. Colorado would love to get at least one back. McLaughlin, Crawford, near side, Rouet. Faked the shot, skipped it to McLaughlin. Gets underneath, now he'll shoot. And again, Belanger got a piece of it. Loose ball picked up there by Keogh, reset to 30. Ilya Gaich off the bench will play a shift to O. Crawford, pump fake, shot saved there by Belanger. Loose ball picked up by Callum and reset to 30. Gaich will go off, on will come Zach Greer. They've had this Vancouver defense out for a couple of possessions to see if they can take advantage. Rouet, one-on-one with Hawksby, comes around a high seal from Crawford. Pushed back there by Cornwall. Shot there by Keogh, hooked in his stick. Loose ball picked up by Rouet, 5 on the shot clock. Rouet will shoot, got through Belanger, but it skipped to the corner. Loose ball's going to be picked up there by Travis Cornwall. As Hawksby slow to get up. And Vancouver will call a timeout.
Timeout on the floor by Vancouver.
As you see Rouet bumping with Ian Hawksby into the boards. Hawksby ended up making his way into the box. And Vancouver calls timeout with under 30 to play. They'll hold here for the last possession, see if they can't extend this to a 3-goal lead. As offensive coach Jim Milligan will draw up the play. What's Pat Coyle, head coach and D coach of the Mammoth, telling his D unit?
Well, he's telling me this, understanding the situation of the game here, the 21, about 21 seconds or so left, so they're going to go probably about 8 or 9. They'll initiate their play. There's going to be some movement and to really stay tight. There's going to be a lot of movement with the ball, but also personnel, and so we got to stay disciplined, tight, defend that stick head, and get your sticks in that passing lane to knock down the passes that you've been successful doing so far in this first half.
Oftentimes you'll see teams shut a guy down. Do you think they'll try and single out maybe Corey Small or Reese Dutch?
I think it's a possibility they could do that. If that's going to happen, they might do it really late to throw off some of the timing. Situations like this, it's all timing. And you're not trying to prevent a shot, but you just want to adjust the timing of that play to get that shooter off a step to the right or left, or adjust from an overhand shot to a sidearm. So they might do that, what we call jumping the offensive player. So it wouldn't be surprised if I saw that here, but without Joey Capito in the lineup, they might stay a little bit tighter here tonight.
Corey Small will start with it. Creighton Reed already floating out towards him. James Ray, Reese Dutch, Corey Conway, Jordan Durston, and Evan Messenger. Creighton Reed is just going to play rover, running back and forth between Small and Ray. Now they'll shut Corey Small off and just play 5 on 4. And that just completely threw off the Vancouver stealth. They didn't know what to do. Dutch has it. 5 on the shot clock. Down to Conway. 3 in the shot clock. Dutch pump fake. Shoots. That one's going to go wide. 5 on the shot clock. So Colorado will have one opportunity left here. Ilya Geich and Colorado will call a timeout. So they must have given them some more time on the clock, because I thought it was 27 seconds when the timeout was called. But a nice job, as you said, that late jump really threw the Vancouver offense off and almost cost them.
Well, you can see even from the initial whistle to start that play, I was seeing Creighton Reed going back and forth, and like we said, it's timing. It's all timing from the offensive perspective. They want to feel smooth and comfortable, and you throw that off, and we had a couple bad passes. We had confusion on the bench, who's going off, who's coming on, and really disrupted that opportunity for Vancouver to have a 3-goal lead at the end of this first half.
Team up with your favorite Colorado Mammoth players and the entire organization across Cancer. Bring the noise and show your support when the Mammoth take on Saskatchewan Rush here at Pepsi Center on Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Visit ColoradoMammoth.com to find your tickets today. Alex Bouquet on the bench, so the Mammoth will go 6 on 5 with exactly 5 seconds remaining. And Callum Crawford will start with it. See what Chris Gill and Dan Stroop have drawn up for the Mammoth offense. Crawford. Outside shot. He didn't really have a pass, so he took the only option, and that was to put it on target. And another save by Belanger. He's made 28 and a half, only gave up 3, and he's allowed his Vancouver Stealth to have a 5-3 lead at the half. We'll be coming back with analysis and highlights up next here on Altitude.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
For the American routine scores for the goal from Dutch again. He wants to pull the trigger and into the top corner it goes. Well, toe dragging a second, went there, spin, score.
When a game is more than just a game and means more than winning. When you can feel hard hits and smooth moves. When you watch sparks fly and wheels turn. You know it's more than just a game. You better brace yourself for the loudest house in lacrosse.
It's not often that you see two 40-goal scorers swap for one another in the National Lacrosse League, but when a deal happens like the one that sent Zach Greer to the Colorado Mammoth in exchange for Adam Jones, it certainly gets people talking. The change of scenery may have come as a surprise to Greer, who moves from one thriving box lacrosse market to the next, but the multidimensional forward appears to be embracing life and lacrosse in the Mile High City.
Greer, pump fake, shoot, scores, top corner. Greer shoots and scores. Now we're getting the run here for the Mammoth. Zach Greer one-on-one with Frankie Scigliano. Greer shoots and
It's been awesome. It's been great. I was welcomed with open arms in the off-season there, and a little bit of a transition, obviously, just getting used to the new environment, new players, chemistry, coaching staff, all that good stuff. But it's always going to be a work in progress, and we're trying to peak at the right time here. But at the same time, it's going pretty well so far.
That transition to playing with the Colorado Mammoth seemed effortless for Greer. In his debut with the team during face-off weekend, he recorded a hat-trick and added another 3 assists in a win over the Buffalo Bandits. While the Mammoth have been pleased with Greer's offensive production during the first half of the 2017 NLL season, they feel the impact that he has had with his team stretches beyond the score sheet and will be felt amongst teammates for years to come.
Zach Greer is the guy that you want to be able to point to and say, I want you to be more like him. Especially for younger guys coming into this league and on this team, he sets a great example. He works hard, he does the right thing, and you know that you're going to rely on him. If he doesn't score, 2 or 3 or 4 goals, then you know he's doing a lot of different things to help the team win that fans might not see, but coaching staff, teammates, executive staff, everybody sees that.
Obviously, it's tough losing a talent like Adam Jones. Not only is he a phenomenal, one-of-a-kind, just gifted athlete, lacrosse player, he's an incredible guy, incredible teammate. And but you have a guy like Greer, he comes in, and not saying anything against Jonesy, but they're just 2 different players, you know what I mean? Zach Greer, he comes in here and you could just tell he's the first practice, he's the hardest working player on the floor, you know what I mean? With a guy that has the accolades that he does, it's not that he's just taking it for granted. He come out there, he wants to build a name here and he wants to make the team better. He'll do anything that's going to make the team better, and it's an honor to play with somebody like that.
John Grant Jr., an 18-year NLL vet, maybe 12 years older than Greer, but even he didn't hesitate to admit that Greer has served him as a teacher of sorts.
To learn from a guy who's younger, sometimes you get older, you think you know everything, but, he's been awesome to help me out, even the young guys, and, and he's putting the ball in the net, and he's playing extremely well. He never stops working. I mean, a tremendous leader. The guy's won at every level, the guy's won, and, he's literally like another coach out there, but he can still score goals, and he sets picks. He does just everything.
A product of both the Whitby Warriors and Duke lacrosse systems, there's no doubt that Greer knows what it takes to win. He's won back-to-back Champions Cups with the Rush organization. So when you ask him if he feels like the Mammoth have the instruments to win a championship, well, you've got to listen.
We've got a lot of different pieces that it takes to win, and obviously, like I said, peaking at the right time is part of it. But we've got a great system in place. We've got goaltending, a great defense back there, which is obviously important when it comes to playoff time, even more so than the regular season. And that's going to be something that helps us get it done. And obviously, offense is still working hard to kind of figure out our way and figure out our chemistry a little bit. But it's early, and we're just trying to get better every time out.
For NLL Productions, I'm Tyson Geik. Yes, Mia, now time for my box bosses, and for the second consecutive week, it was actually not too difficult for me. I was able to really select just 3 players that stepped up and had massive performances for their teams, put the teams on their back, came up huge in week 10. And at number 3, I'm going to start with Dangerous Dan Dawson of the Rochester Nighthawks. The 35-year-old played games in a back-to-back nights, actually a night and an afternoon. 3 goals and 4 assists in the first game. Then he's got the game-winning goal and added another 4 assists in the second game. Going on 36 years of age, still putting up big numbers and coming up with timely goals for the Rochester Nighthawks. He's a big part of this team, very well respected around the league, and actually second in terms of active leading scorers across the league. At number 2, I've got big game Dane Doby. 1 shorthanded goal, 1 power play goal, 1 highlight reel tally, 7 goals total, 4 assists in that win over the Georgia Swarm. Doby's been hitting all sorts of milestones this season and has been putting together some seriously awesome performances, but I don't think there have been any better than this one that was put on display on Saturday night in Calgary. This guy was an absolute stud. And at number 1, I've got Callum Crawford, who had the sock trick against the Calgary Roughnecks. Callum is my pick for the number 1 box boss because of what he's been able to do without some of the Mammoth's best in the lineup. He's picked up the slack with those big names out, There's only been one time that this season that he's had less than 5 points in a game, and on Friday night, he put up a season-high 9 points against the Calgary Roughnecks.
Yeah, stay. Get me up. Beersy!
We have to recognize that we have to get everybody back there before we start pressing on, right?
Get out! Watch your back! Lindsay, you're good!
Welcome to this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle, where we take a look at some of the big stories happening around the league on social media this week. And it all starts off in Toronto, as their upcoming game against the Calgary Roughnecks promises to be an intense one on the floor and an emotional one off the floor. The Toronto Rock will be retiring number 7's jersey. That's right, Colin Doyle's jersey retirement night. Fans across the league reacting to this one. In fact, Bryce Davidson says he'll be making the trip down from Muskoka. Fans were also asked to share their favorite Colin Doyle moment on social media, and I just love this picture from Sean Sutton with Colin and his son. Here's a heartwarming story out of Saskatchewan. Bobby Rose is a huge Rush fan, and she tells us why on Facebook this week. Bobby says that she is blind, but her husband said that she would really enjoy a Rush game. After going to her first one, she knows why. She says the crowds were loud and exciting, and now her and her husband are season ticket holders. That is a great story, Bobby. International Women's Day was this past week, and teams as well as players were celebrating the special woman in their lives. Just take a look at this picture from Kyle Buchanan with his mommy. So sweet. Well, a lot of fans were going home shockless after the Colorado Mammoth game last week. Callum Crawford earned his first career sock trick, and just take a look at some of the pictures that we found on social media, including this one from Matt Jenkins saying he's going home barefoot tonight. And another big night for Dane Doby, who tied a career high of 11 points. And because he was on fire in that game, well, he earned himself a fire helmet. That wraps up this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle. Fans, if you want a chance to be featured here, well, all you gotta do is use the hashtag NLL and tag us in any of your social media posts. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era, a new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The Shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original four. 4 arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia converged to create the NLL Star, a modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
The Loud House, ladies and gentlemen, as we get you set for second half action with the clock winding down. The Mammoth are back onto the floor. And the big story in this game, John Glahn, has been the play of Ty Belanger. He has made 28 saves on 31 shots, only given up 3. But the big thing is he's seeing a lot of these shots.
Yeah, a lot of outside shots. Like you said there, but that he's being able to see them. The Colorado Mammoth have not been able to get inside there, and whether that's a little bit of the Vancouver stealth defense or a little bit of playing last night and some tired legs, I'm sure they got spoken to there at halftime and adjusted their offense a little bit. They're doing a great job swinging that ball east to west, but if they're going to beat Ty Belanger today, they're going to have to get that ball inside and get some cutters.
And when you only have 3 goals, you can have a lot to complain about. Maybe there's not a lot to complain about because they are getting good quality scoring opportunities. They just need to get guys cutting through the middle, like the opening goal from Stephen Keogh last weekend, where he went right through the middle. We haven't seen a lot of that. Credit to the Vancouver defense and credit to the Mammoth defense for doing the same thing, but when you don't allow cutters, you don't get those inside shots. Tonight's second half faceoff being brought to you by Ford, and Dan Coates has really had Jarrett Toll's numbers tonight. He's won 7 of 11 draws here on the evening, and the Mammoth won that one, and then they caused a turnover by Greg Downing knocking the ball at a Jarrett Toll stick. And again, the Mammoth, great starts to quarters. Let's see if they can put something together here. Zach Greer goes high to Chris Wardle, far side, Callum Crawford. One-on-one with Chris O'Doherty, swim move, tries to get inside, but just not a lot of movement from the Colorado offense. A lot of guys standing still. Easy for Vancouver to defend. McLaughlin, 5 on the shot clock. Bad angle shot from Crawford, goes off the corner boards and bounces to center. And Greer is just going to bat it away, and that'll be a shot clock violation by the Mammoth. Here comes Reese Dutch. Ilya Gaich picks him up. Dutch, step back, shoots and scores! A bit of a soft one there past Alex Bouquet as Reese Dutch shoots from the outside, goes 5-hole for his 3rd of the night. And not the start you wanted if you're a fan of the Mammoth, and it's 6-3.
You can see from the reaction of Ilya Gaich there, he's a little disappointed with the play there, not being on Reese Dutch's hands. And for a quality player like that, when you're going to allow him to shoot around the screen, there's not much you can ask Alex Bouquet to do on that particular shot.
Dutch from Beers at 50 seconds into the second half. And the largest lead of the game is 3, and that's where we stand right now. Coates and Toll. Coates wins it all the way back into his own zone. Robert Hope gives chase, picks up that loose ball. Scampers around his net, finds the outlet near side, and Cam Holden.
Vancouver's going to get a penalty here off their offensive player running through the Mammoth crease to make contact with the Mammoth player. So hopefully this might be the spark, a power play here early to get this team and this crowd going.
So Colorado will go 6 on 5. Bouquet to the bench, 8 on the shot clock. Here's Greer. Elaine, why don't you shoot that? He passed it off instead. Elaine right down the middle, and you're a goal scorer like Zach Greer. That's a shot you got to take, but that's kind of been the case we saw in the first half. A lot of unselfishness and guys passing when they should be shooting.
Well, Colorado Mammoth, obviously have been struggling here.
Vancouver penalty number 4, 2 minutes delay of game for checking through the crease.
Obviously have been struggling a little bit on the offensive end and trying to get a little too cute there. So what they're going to need is a veteran group to really put this team on their shoulders and carry them, and Zach Greer is one of those guys they're going to rely on here in the second half.
O'Doherty gets called for running through the crease to delay a game as he went and checked the player by cutting through the crease. So 0 for 2 so far, the power player of the Mammoth. Here's Keogh. Greer, Keogh, pump fake, shoots, saved by Belanger in his leg pad. And he'll outlet short side to Peter McFettridge. Watch there by Eli McLaughlin, who just lets him pass by. McFettridge thought about going underneath the check of Josh Sullivan. He'll just circle high, skip it far side, Corey Small. Small takes a shot, that hit Ilya Gaich, and will ricochet into the corner. Taylor Stewart will pick it up, and Colorado will go back on the power play. A minute 13 remaining on the penalty to O'Doherty. Crawford. Noble. Top center. Behind the net, McLaughlin. Back to Greer. Pump fake. Noble. Twisters. Top corner. Score! His first goal in a month and a half, and Jeremy Noble gives an emphatic fist pump, and it makes it 6-4.
We can see here he's got the whole net to shoot at, being the point of the power play, and right at the end just adjusts his shooting angle right to his left, right there. Right, he's able to create a hesitation by Alex Bouquet and alter the plane of his shot, put it right behind Alex out.
I know you meant Ty Belanger.
Oh, sorry, Ty Belanger.
That's okay,
sorry.
Johnny. You're used to being between the benches where you have opposing team coaches swearing at you and getting in your ear. We'll give you a break. It's only your second time up here. Off the ensuing draw, picked up there by Cam Holding. And here comes Greg Downing. Back to a 2-goal game. Mammoth get their first on the power play. Noble from Greer and Eli McLaughlin. And it's back to a 2-goal game.
What's important now here is the Colorado Mammoth got a little bit more momentum. They got to build on that. They have to have one good shift and then a second good offensive shift. Let's see if they can put a couple together here.
5 on the shot clock. Crawford steps around a double screen and he tries to go 5-hole. And Belanger closed the legs to make that save again. And here comes Joel McCready. McCready has kind of transitioned his role into a two-way player with the emergence of James Ray and Corey Conway being healthy. Here's Reese Dutch. Far side, Corey Small. Small tries to get underneath. Nice check there by Bryce Sweeting. Durston from the outside shot, saved there by Bouquet. Loose ball picked up by Sullivan. He's got Ilya Gaich at center, and he goes there with the outlet pass. Gaich will slow things up. Find a man off the bench, that's McLaughlin. Far corner, Noble. Noble shoot, twister, just missed it far side. And that's going to go up and out of play. Bit of a quick shot there from Noble, just missed. But you like that from the Mammoth. The guys are feeling it. They're putting good shots on net. As McFetridge comes in transition and takes a shot, they just need to be more selective and better placements of some of those shots.
Yes, agreed. It's trying to get that momentum going, and it's getting a little excited. Haven't played in a month and a half.
Messenger with the outside shot. Messenger again takes an outside shot. That hit a body and goes wide to center.
I was going to say there, the shot selection's got to be a little bit better. And what you're seeing here is the defense is playing nice and tight, getting in that shooting lanes and making it difficult for Vancouver to get in that middle.
Durston with an outside shot again, hit a body on its way on target. Nice defensive set there from the Mammoth team, crushing out and not allowing clean shots on target. Here comes Chris Wardle. Had 5 last night, yet to get on track here tonight. Skips it to Crawford. Crawford comes around the top, finds Eli. McLaughlin cuts underneath, takes the shot, airmails it high. Rouet to McLaughlin, tries to one-time it to Wardle again. Right on top of the net, and the guy trying to force a pass when he had a clean open shot. Here's Conway. Gets a little interference run there by McCready. Pops it up to James Ray, who skips it far side, Corey Small. Small flips it up top to Messenger. Near side, Corey Conway. Back to Small, far side. Good ball movement here by Vancouver. Small takes a shot. A nice save there by Bouquet. Colorado having a tough time picking it up. Finally, Taylor Stewart does, and he flips it to Creighton Reed, who's able to get it over center in time. Reed will slow it up and give off to McLaughlin. Near side, Greer. Greer finds a cutting Keogh. Keogh pumping, trying to go 5-hole. And another stick save there by Belanger. Long outlet pass. O'Doherty's able to run onto it.
Let's go, Greg. Get it, ball.
The outlets to Reese Dutch. Too late. Comers onto the floor, Messenger and Conway. Here is the aforementioned Corey Conway. Gives down to Reese Dutch. Dutch, step back, shot, saved there by Bouquet, closed the wickets. And we'll get a timeout on the floor. 6-4 is your score as Jeremy Noble fires an overhand power play shot to make it a 2-goal game, back with 8:49 in the third after this.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada. Tonight.
Mammoth trailing by a pair, 6-4 to the Vancouver Stealth here inside the Pepsi Center. Tonight's broadcast is a copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated, which may not be transmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. 8:49 to go here in the third quarter, Johnny. We still haven't seen a full energetic shift from this Colorado offense. Again, we can talk about the long travel, but every team's had to do with it. How do you spark a team to find them to get that extra little boost?
I think from the defensive end, it's getting off the floor. I think watching the Mammoth defense here in transition, they're jogging a little bit, not running as hard off the floor as head coach Pat Coyle would like. And so getting off the floor quickly, getting the offense on the floor, pushing that ball up, that will create transition and momentum and get this arena a little bit louder.
Here come the Mammoth on offense. Wardle skips it far side. Noble tucks inside, cuts through the middles. Chris Wardle, that was a great cut off ball, but just unable to get the pass. 5 on the shot clock. Greer fires and it hits Beers in front, making a skate save. And we're seeing more and more of that from defenders these days, just willing to sacrifice their body and take one off the shin. I hated taking balls off the shin.
I blocked one shot here in this arena and it ruptured my spleen, and that was the last time I was getting in front of a shot to block it.
Here's Conway, wrong side of the floor, shot gets knocked down, glove there by Bouquet, outlets to Taylor Stewart. Rory Smith, an old fan favorite here of the Colorado Mammoth, and a bunch of teams in the National Lacrosse League, was prone to just dive in front of balls and take a shot no matter what the cost. Here's McLaughlin trying to go short side and just missed. 10 seconds on the shot clock when he took that one, and Vancouver picks it up. Here comes James Ray in transition, lumbers across center, watched there by Chris Wardle. Ray will keep it, go for a change, as will Wardle. And Evan Messenger one-on-one with Bryce Sweeting. Here comes the double team from Gillis that passes a little bit high for Durston, but he's able to pick it up. 5 on the shot clock. Durston just throws one into the corner, and it's one-handed there by Downing, outlets the Cam Holding. Holding to a cutting Keogh, runs right through the middle. Crawford, he'll shoot, that one gets deflected, and here comes Matt Beers. Beers, little backhand flip to Salt, and he'll leave it for Reese Dutch. Wish we had a shot tracker on deflected shots for both teams. And number one rule for defenders, get your stick up and knock any passes down, and both teams have done a great job of that here tonight. Here's Ray, backing his man down, leaves Corey Conway all alone with Taylor Stewart, and he just missed it wide. I know they like that double slide, but that's not the guy you really want to leave all alone. Here's Ilya Gates, twister save there by Belanger as he tried to go 5-hole. Here comes Vancouver the other way. O'Doherty outlets to Joel McCready. McCready watched by Gillis. Gets a pick there from O'Doherty. Crashes the net and he scores, and they'll wave it off. Crease violation. And McCready saying to his bench, look at the replay, I think it's a good goal.
They're calling it crease violation, no goal!
That's the move McCready loves, to get underneath. And the flag is thrown right away from Jamie Batley, as he would like the officials to take a closer look at this one as we get our first challenge of the night. And the call on the field was no goal, so we'll have to have conclusive evidence for Jamie Batley to be correct here in throwing the flag, and we'll get both of our respective opinions as we get some more looks here As Mark Gardonio will head into the box to have a look.
Well, Jamie Batley had that red flag out immediately and was just waiting for that replay to come on the big screen here. Once he saw that, it challenged that play. I'd be interested in seeing, because it looked fairly good from this angle. It looked like it was fairly good, but I'd be interested to see it as his knees in the crease.
And it all depends on when he touches the line and when the ball goes in. This might be the best angle here. His right knee does go down, but it's all going to be on when he's actually in the crease and when the ball crosses. This is going to be close. Vancouver bench thinks it's a good goal. That left leg could be down, and his right leg could be on the line, but again, it's all the referee's discretion. And Mark Gardonio is probably going to take a few looks at this one. And it's tough to see when the ball crosses the line and when he's actually on the ground on that crease line or inside the crease.
The more and more I watch this, I wonder if because the original call was no goal, if there's going to be enough evidence to overturn that call. But from our vantage point right away, it didn't look like he stepped in with his foot.
It's just all going to be on when his legs touch down on the crease. And again, we don't have, it's in every sport they say it, you wish you could have split screens. This might be an even better angle. You just don't know. It's where you'd love to have split screen. You can look at two different angles at the same time. As Mark Gardonio's had about 4 or 5, 6, 7 looks at this, still hasn't come up with a conclusive decision. And again, it has to be conclusive evidence. And here comes the referee in charge, and we'll wait for his official call.
After review, the call on the floor stands. We have no goal.
No goal is the call. Inconclusive evidence. And so it remains a 2-goal game. And that's a bit of a tough one. Again, you could, if it was called a good goal, you might have kept it as a good goal if Colorado had reviewed it. But this way it was called no goal on the field, so it benefits the Colorado Mammoth. So with 5:47 remaining, they still trail the Vancouver Stealth by 2. And they really need to find a bit of a spark here, anything to get themselves into this game. Here's Noble, far side. Near side, Gerd, down low, McLaughlin. Couple high screens. Now picks it there from Greer. McLaughlin skips it. Rouet, shot, bouncer. That one hooks in his stick and goes up and out of play. It'll be Vancouver possession.
Come on, team!
Here's Matt Beers trying to get across center, watched by McLaughlin. He gets over, jumped there by Sweeting. And he's able to find Corey Conway. Now Small. Double team from holding. James Ray trying to find a way through the middle. Kicks it outside to Reese Dutch. He bobbled the pass. Ball's loose. Dutch picks it up. 8 on the shot clock. Reese Dutch willing his way through the middle. Ball loose on the floor, and it's finally going to be picked up there by Taylor Stewart. Nice collapse there by the Colorado defense on Reese Dutch.
Nice collapse. They were locking Dutch off there early in the possession with Dan Coates. It'll be interesting to see if they continue that as we progress here through the third quarter.
Wardle to Keogh, far side, Jeremy Noble. And they're going to call interference on Keogh. And we're going to get a TV timeout here as Vancouver will start with it after the break as they lead Colorado by 2, 6-4 with 4:40 remaining here in the third quarter, live on Altitude.
These beautiful hot tub ladies are provided by the Donovan Agency for tonight's game. Donovan Agency representing Colorado.
That's impossible.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada. Tonight's
The Loud House, ladies and gentlemen, the Vancouver Stealth lead it 6-4. And while Colorado has the offensive edge in shots, they just haven't been able to get to the middle of the floor because this Vancouver Stealth defense playing very aggressive, keeping the shooters way out towards the boards.
They're doing a good job from the anchor, which we call the crease position, up to the shooter-defender position, and passing these guys off, playing more of a high-low system. And while Colorado's sweeping across, generally on their righties, they're doing an excellent job of bumping them over. So really protecting that middle with a lot of switches.
Vancouver starting 6-on-5, but then they sprint Evan Messenger back. Here's Corey Conway. Far side, Corey Small. Gets a pick there from Durson, who gets the ball back from Corey Small. And nice job defensively there by Creighton Reed to scoop it to Cam Holding. Now Colorado with a bit of a run here. Downing. Wobbled it. Gets his own rebound, gives off to Greer. Rouet flashes through the middle. Far side in the stick of Callum Crawford. Crawford gets a pick. Skips it back to Keogh. Keogh. 5 on the shot clock. Got to get a shot off. Pump fake. Shoot. Saved there by Belanger. Ball loose. And nice job by the Vancouver defenseman, Peter McFetridge, to grab that loose ball out of midair. But finally a guy, pump faked the pass and got a shot off on net instead of forcing a pass late in the 30. Dutch. Far side Messenger gets a pick there from Corey Small. Comes back near side Conway. Conway surveys, skips it to Small.
Come on, defense!
Watched there by Stewart. Now Messenger shoots, saved there by Bouquet. And he squeezes the pads to hold on to that one. 3:20 remaining in the third quarter. Colorado trailing by a pair. The biggest deficit has been 3, and they've never led. McLaughlin shoots off the junction. That one beat Belanger clean, but it hit crossbar and post and reset to 30. Rouet skips it to Noble. Gets a double pick, shoots, and another nice arm save there from Ty Belanger. Ball scoots along the boards, picked up by Beers, and the outlets to center to McCready. 3-on-3 in transition. McCready spins back, takes a shot. That one goes wide, bounces all the way to center. Conway able to gather that one with 15 on the shot clock. James Ray. Watched there by Hope. Ray pushed down the angle. Watched there by Greg Downing. Nice defense from Downing. Shot hits Hope on the way to the front of the net. And Hope just runs around the safety of his own crease and outlets to Creighton Reed. 2:20 remaining. Both defenses have been absolutely fantastic tonight. 10 goals through nearly 3 quarters of play. Wardle shoots, hits the post again. That's an easy 5 on the night for Colorado.
Vancouver's starting to switch those two-man sides underneath, and that's giving, on that possession there, Wardle that time to take that outside shot. Eli in the previous shift, and both of them hitting the post.
10 on the shot clock. Corey Small, watched there by Coates, comes around a pick, gets to the center of the floor, can't get a shot off. And that shot hit Sweeting on the way to the net, then a long shot at the end of the buzzer by Dutch goes wide. Here's Ilya Gaich. Matt Beers picks him up. Gaich will give off to Eli McLaughlin. Now Zach Greer. McLaughlin loses his footing. Greer shoots and just missed, bringing it back short side. 13 on the shot clock. Gaich couldn't pick up that loose ball. Crawford's got to give chase. Picked up by McFetridge, and they're going to call interference on Crawford. And then Crawford gives a shot to McFetridge, and they're going to send them both. Nice job by Callum Crawford to chase back in transition, not allow McFetridge, the speedy McFetridge, to pick that loose ball up, and they'll both go most likely for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Vancouver penalty number 80, Colorado penalty number 98. 2 minutes each, dead ball foul.
Dead ball foul and sportsmanlike conduct. 6-1, half a dozen the other. And that's almost a good interference call to take there by Callum Crawford. And then they both get up shoving. McFetridge maybe on the receiving end.
I'm not exactly sure what McFedridge did.
Bounce shot there by Small, goes wide as we play 5 aside. And a nice job there by Cam Holding. Cam Holding gets underneath, resets, shoots and scores! Cam Holding with his first of the year, and it couldn't come at a better time, and it's 6-5.
We talked earlier in this quarter about getting more offense from your defense. Cam Holding, the fastest guy on this Colorado Mammoth team, scooping up that ground ball, did an excellent job of shielding the stealth defender, not allowing Dutch to go over the back there, coming across the net, put it past Ty Belanger.
I gave you the quizzical look because you say Cam Holding's the fastest guy on the Mammoth team. I'm sure Joey Capito and Brent Adams would have something to say about that one. Neither one in the lineup, so maybe the fastest guy in the lineup we'll go with. But a great goal there from Cam Holding, picked off the pass, went all the way down and scored. Long outside shot there from Nobles. Vancouver will get possession. Colorado wanting the 2-for-1 as they're within one. Hawksby gets across center. Here's Conway. Watched there by Ilya Gaich, comes around high. Gaich pushes him way out, outside the restraining line, 10 on the shot clock. Shot there and he scores! Corey Small. And sometimes the 2-for-1 can come and bite you in the end. And a forced shot by Noble comes all the way back with a stealth possession. And Corey Small squeaks one through Alex Bouquet, and it's 7-5.
Well, as a defender, you got to recognize time, score, situation. Shot clock is running down, and when you have the leading scorer of the National Lacrosse League, Corey Small, with the ball in his stick, you know he's going to shoot the ball. We got to be a little bit more aggressive out in that shooting lane if you're a Colorado Mammoth defender.
Small from Conway and Hawksby at 14:44. Off the ensuing draw, Vancouver wins it, picked up there by John Linz. 10 seconds in the quarter. O'Doherty sprints across center, yard sailed his stick, 3 on the game clock. Holding not going to get a shot off in time and doesn't want to shoot after the whistle and take a delay of game. And it's been pretty much this kind of game. 2 and 3 goal leads, and Vancouver will take a 2-goal lead into the break with 15 minutes of regulation play ahead. 7-5 your score, fourth quarter coming up here on Altitude.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
He's got
Fans inside the Pepsi Center getting set for the fourth quarter of action. 7-5 is your score in favor of Vancouver. The Mammoth experience is better with friends. Bring groups of 10 or more to see your Colorado Mammoth and receive special benefits like discounts, bench and penalty box experiences, field time, and more. Visit coloradomammoth.com for details. One lopsided stat from tonight's game: Colorado 12, Vancouver 3. And that's at the center circle. Dan Coates has just absolutely owned Garrett Toll tonight. But it hasn't resulted in more goals, just more possession. And here's Toll with a face-off win. But he gets dislodged from the ball, and it's picked up there by Cam Holding. 3-on-2 break for Colorado. Downing. Nice job not to force it. He gives it right back to Ilya Gaich. And the offense will come onto the floor for Colorado. 5 aside to start the final 15. And here comes Stephen Keogh to Jeremy Noble. And an illegal pick called on Keogh. And here comes Vancouver the other way. Salt on the run. Salt shoots right into the belly pad of Alex Bouquet. And it'll be Colorado possession. Jeremy Noble sprints across center. Noble working with Rouet in the two-man game. Wardle was open for a split second through the middle. Greer, tuck and go. Turned back by the check of Thomas Hogarth. So that's Joel McCready, number 55. Not sure how he got that mixed up. Dispossessed of the ball was Zach Greer, and here comes Ian Hawksby the other way. Hawksby watched by Coates. He runs away from the double team and outlets to Reese Dutch. Down the middle, Evan Messenger, and he couldn't hang on to it. But he picks it up with one hand, spins to the middle, knocked down to the floor, and he can't put it on target. Loose ball picked up there by James Ray. To Conway, outside shot, shoulder saved by Bouquet. And then the loose ball picked up there by Robert Hope. Wardle, near side, Jacob Rouet. One-on-one with his defender. Takes a shot and just sailed it high and wide. And McLaughlin can't get back in time to scoop up that loose ball. And it'll be a Vancouver possession on the over and back.
2 plays that Colorado Mammoth can't miss on that one. Rouet had a beautiful seal down, was able to come around that, missed the net, and then Eli McLaughlin not able to pick up that ground ball. Those are the extra possessions the Mammoth need here in this fourth quarter.
Here's Reese Dutch, near side, Corey Small, who regained the 2-goal lead. Small trying to go short side. Nice leg save there by Alex Bouquet. And here come the Mammoth. Sweeting tried to force it inside. Nice handle there by Eli. He tries a Durston-esque spin around shot, but couldn't quite put it on target. Nice save there. Sorry, on target. Saved by Belanger. Dutch shoots, trying to go 5-hole. An even better save by Bouquet. Both goaltenders have been absolutely fantastic here tonight. Coates will leave it for Stephen Keogh. As you see Alex Bouquet making another save on Reese Dutch. Save there by Belanger. And here comes Vancouver as the track meet begins to pick up here inside the Loud House. Durston to Messenger. And Small, who finds Reese Dutch all alone. Diagonal feed to Messenger doesn't connect, and that's picked up by Taylor Stewart. Mammoth running the floor. Jordan Gillis. No numbers in transition, so Gillis will bounce it far side. Chris Wardle. Wardle tries to get underneath. Wardle dives and just missed. Ball's loose. Who's going to come up with it? Rouet battling, but it's picked up by Hawksby.
Ian Hawksby quietly has had a fantastic night here on defense for Vancouver, scooping up every ground ball that's loose in front of the stealth net. Took a big hit early in that second quarter that got them an extra possession, which they scored off as well.
Ray around the top finds Corey Small, 8 on the shot clock. Small shoots, bouncer, just missed far top corner. Loose ball picked up by Reese Dutch, and he's just going to airmail it all the way down to Durst. It'll be a shot clock violation. 11:16 remaining here in the fourth and final quarter. Coates gives off to Keogh. To Noble. Keogh flashes, Noble skips it all the way over to Eli McLaughlin. You can just see how tired this Mammoth team is. They just have no extra jump. Here's Cornwall all alone. Great shoulder save by Alex Bouquet. And here comes Creighton Reed. A couple 5-hour energy drinks would go a long way right now for the Mammoth. Here's Rouet. Gives off to Noble. Noble inside feed to Rouet, and he couldn't handle the pass. Ball's loose. And Belanger able to corral it in his crease and outlet to Salt. Salt slowly gets across center, will slow things down. And give off to Corey Small. Evan Messenger, one-on-one with Sullivan, gets underneath. Nice job by Sullivan to turn the rookie back. And he skips it across to Reese Touch. He gets it right back. Messenger, stutter step. Here comes the double T. Big hit there by Taylor Stewart on the slide. And that'll be a shot. Sorry, that was Robert Hope, 18 on the slide, coming across from the other side of the floor to lay a big hit on Evan Messenger. Let's see if that can spark the offense. Under 10 to play, 7-5 Vancouver. Here's Noble. Shot, shoulder save by Belanger. Ricochets to the corner, and McLaughlin couldn't handle that one. And again, second chance opportunities not taken by the Colorado Mammoth. Here's O'Doherty, pressured by Ilya Gaich. Near side, Durston. Durston around the top. Timon Rue shoots and scores! Posted in. And Durston gets his second of the evening, and it's a 3-goal lead for Vancouver, 8-5.
Well, that goal, we're going to watch a replay here, and Durston's able to come across the floor. Downing gets caught up in the wash there a little bit. But you mentioned it earlier, Ted, that goal really starts in the Colorado Mammoth offensive end by not being able to corral that ground ball, giving Vancouver that extra possession.
And it's Vancouver taking opportunity when they get those chances. And Colorado just hasn't been able to do that today. Again, give a lot of credit to Ty Belanger, who's made 41 saves on the night, but this is a Mammoth team that just has been known for putting up big numbers, and they haven't been able to do it here tonight against a Vancouver Stealth team that's sort of started to find their rhythm in the last couple of weeks after that overtime loss at the hands of this Mammoth squad. Here's Crawford. Still a lot of lacrosse left to be played. That shot hits the body, goes up and out of play. We'll take a TV timeout. When we come back, it'll be Mammoth possession as they trail 8-5 with 9:02 remaining here on Altitude.
Our Mammoth players.
This week's episode of Versus, Dane Dobie of the Roughnecks going up against Mitch Jones of the Bandits. Let's take a look at the champion play. Jones falling on his face and scores. Yep. That play took down Dan Dawson last week. It's our one-time reigning champ, and this week he's going to go up against Dane Dobie of the Roughnecks, who has a behind-the-back goal in a crazy performance against the Swarm.
Well, you want to bet you might see that on Versus later this week on the NLL's plays of the week.
You guessed it, Dobie comes up with the around-the-world behind-the-back goal. Who have you got, Dobie? Or do you have Mitch Jones? Fans, we need your help. You got to head to Twitter. You got to cast your vote. This week's episode of Versus.
The fourth and final quarter at the Pepsi Center. Welcome back on Altitude. 8-5 Vancouver leads. And let's take a quick look how we got here in the second half. And this goal by Reese Touch has kind of been a synopsis of a lot of the Vancouver goal. Not a lot of clean ones going in on Alex Bouquet.
No, Alex is getting a little piece here and there. They're just kind of trickling in a little bit. But, Vancouver's been able to get the ball into their big goal scorers, get their hands free, and in changing those planes of those shots, releasing the ball high, shooting it low, or releasing the ball low and aiming high. Really get Alex Bouquet off his game a little bit.
That shot by Durston made it 8-5 and probably the cleanest goal to go in on Alex Bouquet in quite a while, who's been playing quite well for not having started in about 3 months. Here's Crawford. Gets around a double team, gets to the center of the floor, tries to find Keogh on the backside, unable to connect with him. 15 on the shot clock. Noble flips to Keogh. Pump fake, takes the shot. That one scoots just wide. And just no real set offense here from Colorado. You know, a lot of guys being pushed way out. They're not able to get inside. Not a lot of cutters. And Vancouver has done just a fantastic job stymieing this Colorado offense.
What's most concerning as a Colorado Mammoth fan and coaching staff is those plays where they don't look structured and organized or coming out of timeouts, where you feel they should be the most structured or the most organized.
Here's Reese Dutch, far side, one-on-one with Iligite. Step back, shoots and scores! I understand that you have to play sound defense, but how are you not playing tighter defense on Reese Dutch? Like, Ilya Gaich is right there. He's got a stick on him, but you know he can shoot through that.
And we've seen this before. This is just a carbon copy of a goal scored in the third quarter on the other end. And you can see the reaction. You know, I think Ilya might have felt he should have had a little bit more support there. But, you know, I agree. Reese Dutch, he's going to be at the top of the scouting report for the Colorado Mammoth defense, and you got to get on his hands. And you've heard me say a lot: defend that stick head. Get him to bring that stick inside, so he's got to go underneath.
Dutch from Conway and Small. That's Dutch's 4th of the night, his 12th against Colorado this year, and his 10th here inside the Pepsi Center. Outside shot by Corey Small goes wide. Nice one-handed catch by the fan right alongside the penalty box. And it's the biggest lead of the game. It's 4 goals. It's 9-5. And Rouet gives off to Wardle off the bench and gets it right back, but can't handle the pass. Crawford. Crawford shoots, shoulder saved again there by Ty Belanger. Long outlet pass to Travis Cornwall at center. But Colorado's back in numbers, so there's no transition for the Stealth. Here's Reese Dutch. Gets a bit of a screen from Conway. Tries to get underneath on Sweeting, who turns him back. Now near side in the stick of Corey Small. Small, step back shot. That one goes wide as he got checked there by Taylor Stewart. Small fires a backhander. Durston shoots off the post! Man, Jordan Durston is dangerous late in 30-second shot clocks.
If that one went in, I wouldn't know which one was better, that goal or the one he scored earlier in the game.
Here's Eli McLaughlin trying to get underneath. Bowls his way to the middle. Shoots it, just missed far corner. Loose ball picked up by Salt. You know, the Mammoth are still trying to get to the net, but it's those one-on-one opportunities that they're having most success with, where it's usually off-ball cuts, guys flashing through the middle, and the two-man game where they've had their most success, but just hasn't happened here tonight. Over and back violation called on Durston. Here goes Colorado the other way.
Down 4 goals. Here's an extra offensive possession. You've caused a turnover, so let's see what your offense can do to capitalize here.
Delayed penalty coming up on Matt Beers as he hit Zach Greer away from the play. Bouquet to the bench, 6-on-5. Shot there from Greer, and he hit Hawksby. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Rouet takes a shot. Hawksby jumps in front of that one right at the 30, and Matt Beers will make his way to the penalty box, and Colorado, who's 1 for 3 on the night, will get an opportunity with the man advantage.
Minor, illegal cross-check.
Illegal cross-check called on Beers, so he'll sit for 2 or less. And with 6:01 remaining, a great opportunity here for Colorado to get back to within 3.
Ian, another former Colorado Mammoth playing for Vancouver, Ian Hawksby, now just getting off the field after blocking 2 shots there in that last possession.
You could mix-match these 2 teams of players that have been on the other roster. But to the power play go the Mammoth. Noble, Crawford, Back to Crawford. Keogh shoots. Belanger got a piece of that one and turned it aside. This is the most scattered I've seen the Mammoth power play look all year. I don't know if it's the reinsertion of Noble or what it is, but they just haven't been able to find the chemistry. Here's a long outlet pass to Justin Salt. He's not going to press the issue. He'll wait for the offense to get on the floor and try to kill time off Beers' minor.
Yeah, that, to your point there, Ted, in that offensive possession, there was no player movement at all. All 5 players just kind of rotated maybe a foot or two to either side. Didn't really put a lot of pressure on the Vancouver Stealth man short.
Small takes a shot. That one missed the short side post. And Hope will just let the shot clock expire. And here comes the Mammoth back on the power play. Under a minute to go on the penalty to Beers. Noble top center. Little hidden ball trick. Noble still has it. Gives off to Greer. Down low, McLaughlin. Greer shoots, trying to go 5-hole, and Belanger stood his ground. That time Vancouver tried to set play, Colorado tried to set play, but Vancouver was wise to it. Here goes Travis Cornwall. Double team comes, Cornwall protects his stick right along the boards. And nice job by Coates and Holding to dislodge Cornwall as there's 20 seconds remaining in the penalty.
We got 15 seconds of power play left. Let's blow it up.
3 shots on the power play. Noble shoots, turned aside, now 4 shots. Belanger gonna airmail one to Salt again. Salt couldn't handle it, and a nice job to pick up that loose ball by Jordan Gillis. To Ilya Gaich. Gaich shoots again, trying to go 5-0. Rebound! What a save there by Ty Belanger to deny Ilya Gaich as Beers is out of the box. 3:55 to go, and it is 9-5.
Of course, time now for Unstrung Hero of the Week, presented by String King, a player who may not have chipped in on the score sheet, but contributed to his team's successes in some other way. So who have you got?
I have to give it to Ty Belanger. He stepped up so big for the Vancouver Stealth in a very difficult game against the Saskatchewan Rush. He knew he had a challenge ahead, and he was all up for it. Just take a look at his stats in this game. He had 55 saves on 64 shots on goal, 20 saves in the 4th quarter alone to make sure that Vancouver came out on top of this one. This was the 5th straight start for Belanger, and we've spoken about how big game for him nonetheless. He says he's been finding his rhythm as of late, and you could definitely see that, and that is why Ty Belanger is my unstrung hero for the week.
Ty Belanger playing some of the best lacrosse of his career right now, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. You show me a good team, and I'll show you a good goaltender between the pipes for that team. And the Vancouver Stealth want to turn things around, get things on track. Ty Belanger is going to be a big part of that, and he has been for this team. Now, Mia, of course, time now.
Colorado Mammoth players and the entire organization to lacrosse out cancer. Bring the noise and show your support when the Mammoth take on the Saskatchewan Rush at Pepsi Center on Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Visit ColoradoMammoth.com to find your tickets today. Colorado with a little up-floor pressure at the hands of Greg Downing on Corey Small. See if they can't cause a turnover up the floor. Downing, one of the best shutdown defenders on this Mammoth squad, and does exactly what he's been out there to do. He caused a turnover, and he does. Loose ball picked up by Creighton Reed, and Cam Holding has it. Bouquet out of the net. Mammoth going 6-on-5 with 3.5 to go. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Let's see what Dan Stroop and Chris Gill could draw up for the offense. Noble to Greer, that pass goes awry. McLaughlin to the bench. Bouquet on the floor. Noble shoots, and that one goes wide off the glass. Bouquet's got to hurry to the net. Here comes Reese Dutch on Bouquet. Dutch shoots off the crossbar. I thought Bouquet was actually going to go out and play that ball. He didn't realize where it was, and he wasn't going to win a race with Reese Dutch at that point in time when he was able to get back in time as Dutch rang it off the bar. Durston cuts to the middle, one-handed grab, backhand, tried it again, and that one missed wide. Ray can't handle a loose ball, neither can Hope. Ball still loose, and a nice job by Coates to backhand it through his legs to Ilya Geitz. There goes Bouquet. Noble off to Crawford. Noble around the top. Greer back to Noble to McLaughlin, no angle, shoots off the bar again. Make it 6. That's even the difference in this game. Reset to 30, 2:20 to go. I think McLaughlin's hit 3 junctions tonight. Noble shoots, bodies in front, blocked that one from getting on target. McLaughlin to Noble, to Greer, Crawford. Diagonal feed, try to find Wardle, it doesn't connect. Mammoth got to get off the bench. And Wardle scores from behind the net, and they're going to count it, they will. As Hawksby was sandwiched behind the net, the ball bounced to Wardle. What a heads-up play by Chris Wardle to just pick that ball up and scoop it into the net from really no angle. It makes it 9-6 with 2 minutes to play.
Well, it's a break I think the Colorado Mammoth obviously need to try to get some momentum going here. But again, you know, Ian Hawksby had that ground ball, just kind of squirted out from him. Wardle in the right place at the right time, able to put it in. Now we talked about the face-off count here earlier in this game of Dan Coates being able to win the face-offs. You know, he's going to have to win them for sure now.
Under 2 minutes of play, so referee Mark Gardonio will go and have a look at this one just to make sure that it's a good goal. It'll be Wardle's first if it does, and if it does stand, it'll be Colorado's first goal in 13 minutes and 52 seconds and ends a 3-0 run by Vancouver. So Hawksby picked up the loose ball and he gets hit on the end boards by Keogh. He actually had dropped the ball and the loose ball gets picked up by Wardle. And see if the replay will eventually get it. Wardle is definitely clear of the crease while that one's in. Should be no doubt about this one. It's in, he's out of the crease. And I'm not sure what's taking referee Mark Gardonio so long. But he's got to make sure he's extra precise. You can see the ball in the net wrapped around the post right there. And Wardle is still airborne. But obviously, referee Mark Gardonio is uncertain. And he's still looking at it. Now he has his decision. And we'll wait for the official call. Call stands, good goal from Wardle. And it's a 3-goal game with under 2 to play. Still lots of lacrosse to go. And you were talking about face-off possessions. It's 14-4 in favor of Dan Coates of the Mammoth here on draws. And this will be another huge draw. And if Colorado wins it, expect Alex Bouquet to go right to the bench. And we got procedure on Matt Beers, who stepped across the line, trying to shut down Greg Downing from jumping into the play. Toll doesn't like it. He doesn't even know what happened. Bouquet to the bench, and here comes the 6-on-5 for Colorado. Noble comes around, and Greer can't handle the pass. That's happened far too many times here tonight. Noble steps around the screen. He'll shoot, saved there by Belanger. Reset to 30. A minute and a half remains. Greer, he shoots. Belanger with the save. Open net at the other end. Outlets to Travis Cornwall. Open net for Cornwall, and he scores. Cornwall with the empty netter. Give an assist to Ty Belanger. And that makes it a 4-goal lead again. It's 10-6 for Vancouver.
But Ty Belanger has been on the top of that crease all night long, stopping those outside shots, and that one he was able to corral with his shoulder, got it with his belly a little bit, in his stick and out. And the Mammoth chose on that possession to have a defenseman run back instead of Alex Bouquet. Cromwell's able to put it in the empty net.
And Bouquet is just going to start on the bench here. Colorado just trying to pull out all the stops. Only one man in the defensive zone, and that's Cam Holding. Coates wins it clean all the way back to Holding, and the Mammoth pretty much had all their offensive unit on the floor. Gotta go quick. Crawford to Keogh, skips it to McLaughlin. Crawford, he mishandled the pass. Loose ball, picked up by Keogh. He tried to force one through the middle, picked up by Beers, and Beers is just gonna float this one down the floor. Nobody down there. It's picked up by Ilya Gaich. Gaich to Greer. Late man off the bench is McLaughlin. Backhand pass. Greer shoots. That ball was blocked by Chris O'Doherty. McLaughlin shoots. Kick save. Salt picks up loose ball. Just going to throw it down the floor towards the empty net. That one's not going to go in, and Vancouver just happy to ice the ball here. Gaich to Noble. Inside feed. Wardle shoots another kick save. And Beers again just going to throw it this time. Justin Salt will run onto it. And he's not even going to go towards the open net. No need. Salt will get double teamed along the end boards. Crawford causes the turnover. 15 seconds remaining in the game. Crawford. Inside feed. Wardle pump fake. Dislodge the ball, and that is going to do it. The Vancouver Stealth are going to take this one 10-6 your final. And a huge win for the Vancouver Stealth as they improve to 5-6. Colorado drops to 6-6. It makes the battle for second a little tighter, John.
Well, you can see Ty Belanger there, two fists up in the air. They have a big fist pump. You know he's excited coming into the Pepsi Center, his former arena that we've spoken about earlier, and played fantastic here tonight, shutting the door, really not giving the Mammoth or these fans here tonight any momentum, any real reason to have a prolonged celebration, long cheering, and so he really shut the door, and he's quite excited about his performance here.
Ford player of the game tonight. Could have picked a few different players, but Ty Belanger, head and shoulders, was the best player on the floor tonight. 59 shots faced, 52 saves, 2 assists, and only gave up 6 goals all night. And the Colorado Mammoth dropped to 0-4 on the year when they scored less than 10 goals. And coming off a tough back-to-back road trip, Colorado drops both games in the West Division from 2 through 4, just got that much tighter. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap things up and get you set for the next home game, which is in 2 weeks' time. The Mammoth are on the road in Toronto next week for St. Patrick's Day battle against the Toronto Rock. We'll be back to wrap things up here on Altitude. Altitude is presented by your hometown. Altitude is presented by your hometown Toyota stores and the adventurous 2017 RAV4. By Ideal Home Loans. First they listen, then they lend. By the Ford F-150. Get the truck that was made to work. Ford F-150. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. And by Peak Kia. It's a great idea. Welcome back inside the Pepsi Center with your final score. Vancouver 10, Colorado 9, Johnny Gallant and Teddy Jenner. And it's always tough playing back-to-back weekends, especially when you have a tough travel schedule going from Saskatchewan through Minnesota here to Colorado. Get in late, but you can't have any excuses in this league. And unfortunately for Colorado, they come out on the losing end of a tough Western back-to-back.
I know with the leadership in that room and the coaching staff they have, they're not going to use it as an excuse, and they're going to use it as an opportunity to get better. Job of really keeping this high-powered Colorado offense to that outside and gave up those outside shots, and Ty Belanger was able to get out to the top of the crease and make those saves.
One of the key things for Colorado we talk about is east to west passes, especially from shooter to crease, and they weren't getting those passes through because the Vancouver defense had their sticks and lanes, and when they did get shots off, Ty Belanger was there. He was fantastic as mentioned, but you got to give a lot of credit to Alex Bouquet. He hadn't played pretty much all year in the starting position, and he comes in, gives Dylan Ward a rest, and played quite well. But this Mammoth team just looked tired. They didn't have the jump through the fourth quarter like we've seen them. But how important is that short memory? What's Pat Coyle saying in that room right now?
Well, he's saying we got some guys coming back that are healthy. Zach Greer in the lineup, Jeremy Noble in the lineup, and they're going to be able to go into Toronto and they're going to refocus, watch film. They'll be speaking during the week here, and because of that short week, you can't dwell on it. You got to move on to that next game.
Dan Coates was absolutely fantastic at the face-off draw, winning 16 of 20, but again, those possessions mean a lot in stat category, but they don't always essentially mean goals. And for the Mammoth, it only meant 6, one of their lowest totals of the entire year. They fall to 0-4 when they score less than 10. And again, we've mentioned a short week. They'll head to Toronto to take on the Rock on St. Paddy's Day before a game of Lacrosse Cancer on the 25th against the Rush. Final score, Vancouver 10, Colorado 6. Be sure to join us Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m. for Lacrosse Cancer Night when your Mammoth face off against the Saskatchewan Rush here at the Loud House. Please visit Altitude.tv for upcoming Mammoth broadcast schedule. Altitude is your HT home for Mammoth Lacrosse. For myself, John Gallant, and the entire crew, thanks for your company and goodbye for now.